The benefits of doing charity work. All right, we are back here at Photography After Hours. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So we are here and we're going to be talking about the benefits of charity work. But first, I wanted to introduce everyone. We have Sprague, Susie, Scott, and my name is Nick. And we are sponsored so graciously by PAC, the Photographers Adventure Club. They do photo walks, meetings, seminars, networking, workshops, and photo trips. Check out our calendar at photoadvclub.com. So we're going to be talking a little bit about charity work, and we just finished a very successful event here in Phoenix with our PAC Gives Back program. So we wanted to kind of chat about how other people in other chapters can start to use this PAC Gives Back program and do any little acts of charity. It doesn't have to be something huge like we just did here, but just give back to their community and give back. You know, it's not about, you know, as photographers, we're collecting equipment, we're collecting money from clients, we're always collecting, but it's like now, like, hey, let me give this gift of photography to someone else out there. So we'll start with Scott. He had some cool ideas and some deep moments that he wanted to talk about. Deep thoughts by Scott.
Regarding which part exactly? Because we had some off.
Well, you were talking about like giving back to the community and right, that you're not taking and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's very important.
Okay.
That's
so I'll just
well, the thing is that, you know, what we do something that's would be considered a luxury. You know, I mean, a lot of what, you know, photography is photography could be considered a luxury. Not everyone can afford it. Not everybody, you know, will take the time to even, you know, collect photography or do family photos, whatever it is. And so, you know, I know that when we do a lot of these charity events, we help portrait, we do other things, you know, and we photograph, you know, these families. A lot of them, they come in and they said, you know what, we've never had a family portrait done, ever.
Yeah. Ever.
That was the very first one we've ever done.
Yep.
And it's special to them.
Yeah, because you've been shooting the Help Portrait effort with PAC Gives Back for the past 3 years, right? You did the first one down in Tempe, right, and then we did the last two for Down Syndrome Network of Arizona, and you were at all three of them as well? And then, so the you know, the first one we did for displaced families, that was for homeless people, displaced families, people that just were temporarily displaced, anyone. And actually the way we got connected with Down Syndrome Network was some people came down with their families there, and it was just great to see all that bonding between the photographers and the families and everyone that was coming in. And again, a lot of those people had never gotten their picture taken, and we wondered what they were going to do with them. If you're displaced and you're living in the streets, and many were like, I'm sending it home to my mom that hasn't seen me in years, or they had kids or other people that they were sending these pictures back to somehow.
It gave them validation. I mean, it's like people actually, it wasn't even so much about the picture, although the picture meant a lot to them. It was just more also that people were paying attention to them, made them feel like a person, you know, made them feel like they were special in some way.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's powerful. That's a powerful thing that you
they were paying attention to them. The whole experience, I think it was like the ladies would get hair and makeup. The kids were playing with coloring books at our first one. The one that sticks out in my head is, I think you might have shot it to the guy with the dog.
Yeah, the guy with the dog.
And we could put that picture up there. I can find that somewhere. But you know, it was just like he had the picture and a portrait with his dog, and you know, it was just an amazing experience. He ended up hanging out there like most of the day with us and stuff and everything.
Yeah, we got to talk with him and then help him out with some supplies and stuff after. I don't know if you remember, we gave him food coupons and we gave him water. We loaded up all his bags and stuff like that, so he was ready to go. So that was
very cool.
Yeah, that was good.
So the most recent one that we just did was for DS Network, and this is the second year running. It was our charity art auction. Last year we raised 17 or 18,000 in July.
Yeah,
18,000 for Down Syndrome Network for school programs, children into adults, and they were a lot of it goes to their educational programs and different things like that. And what we do with it is we had 200 images submitted from you guys out there, from photographers in PAC. You guys submitted your images that you took, fine art
amazing work too, by the way.
Amazing. It's only gotten better this year. It went from amazing to wow. You know, I didn't think it could get much better after last year. And we had more time to collect images, so people had more time to focus on what they wanted to send in. A lot of the same artists too. It's not even like, oh, we got new photographers. A lot of the same people submitted again. So we had just great stuff, and we had our sponsors locally here print them and frame them. And then we had the home and garden show where the Super Bowl was, give us the space to actually put a huge space. It was how many square feet?
I don't remember
big
square
space.
feet,
But I think we had the biggest space there.
Yeah,
and
it was
all
over
donated.
1,000 square feet, I think.
It was all donated.
It was a pretty huge footprint.
Yeah, and we were able to now take those pictures, hang them up, and then auction them off to regular people that were just coming to the home and garden show. And you were able to bid right on your phone, and we raised so far $20,900.
Yeah.
And that's without even the additional donations after for just prints.
I think we'll come in somewhere around 23.
22, 23,
yeah. When I'm looking at kind of
from
percentages and stuff, just based on the value,
Yeah, so we're going to be around 23,000 in 3 days to be able to give to DS Network to build these programs now, and that's because of you guys out there. It's not just us here planning it. So it's a great feeling, and just talking to people and explaining to them what we were doing. And the photographers coming there, I interviewed a lot of photographers about their picture and their stories and stuff. So I think all around it was a very feel good kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I think the best part for me is when families that are affiliated with Down Syndrome Network come by and visit us during the event, or when we get to go out and do other events for that organization and meet with the families. That really makes my day, and to see the kids happy and stuff, and to know that they've got the support of that network of other families going through similar experiences and facing a lot of similar challenges. So it really gets me out of that mindset of my photography being just what I need or just what I want, and leveraging some of those skills and interests and stuff to help other people.
Yeah, because there are two very different events. When we do PAC Gives Back Help Portrait Effort, that's us taking pictures of the families, but this one was us taking pictures of landscapes and boats and sunsets and selling them and then giving them money. So it's like very different. One, we're interacting with the families. This one, we're just doing a cool event that PAC members could get more PAC members. A lot of PAC members could get involved in that, not just 8 or 10 of us doing pictures, So it was, how many people donated pictures? 70 or so, right? 75 different people?
Yeah, more than that, actually. And we had several hundred photos submitted.
600 plus photos that got submitted to have to call. And that was hard for us to be able to figure out which ones you're like, oh, wow, this is great. We just don't have the room on the wall.
We had well over 100 photographers submit.
Okay.
And then we had to narrow that down to a manageable number in order to print. And it had to be an amount that wasn't overwhelming for our other donors, because the other event sponsors were donating their services and materials as well.
Well, you don't have so much room on the walls.
Right. You only have so much space
to hang.
Right. But it was something that I think it has value in that so many more members could participate, rather than just some of our events where, for instance, if we have an event that we're going to go out and donate our services of photography to just kind of
like Habitat.
Yeah, or even the picnics for DS Network and stuff like that. That's a limited number of people can participate.
Sure, like so we do locally here events for Habitat for Humanity of Central AZ, and there's only 2 photographers per day that can go out on that. So we have 1,800. So there's a very small amount of people that are able to go out there, but we're helping them take better pictures of their sites and people working, so now they can market better. So they're using it totally different than the other 2. So now they're marketing to get more volunteers in to build more houses, so that they can get, because if someone with the iPhones are taking bad pictures, they can't really use that stuff to actually market.
Well, and the family gets better pictures of the build of their home. Too. They put a lot of sweat equity into that build, because that's how Habitat for Humanity works. The people living in the home put their effort in as well, and it provides them with a better album of basically the birth of their home.
So you're very talkative today.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, the point I wanted to make is that,
he's all disappointed we didn't start with him. He's just all off. He's like, he's waiting for
Well, no, I think it's really important work because, years ago, prior to the advent of the cell phone, a lot of people had really no archives of their family history, whether it was, pictures of their family or pictures of their home or the development of their home. And so, having somebody who would donate their time and their photography to them was very important because there are a lot of people who absolutely have no, pictures of the history of their family. And so even today, I think that's very important because everybody's taking cell phone pictures, but a lot of times it really doesn't ever get transmitted to the people who are actually the subject of those pictures. And so that includes the, individuals that PAC takes pictures of for the various charities, and then also, like you say, for Habitat for Humanity, because that's something that wouldn't normally be archived if we weren't able to step in and do it.
They were trying to. The way I found them actually was I was looking for different charities when we were looking for the art auction to see if we were going to diversify or what we were going to do with that, and I started looking up like Wounded Warrior and all this other stuff, and I found a page that they were looking for cameras, and it said like 6 megapixel cameras, and I was like, what are they looking for 6 megapixel cameras? So I emailed them, said, hey, you're looking for cameras, how about I give you professional photographers? And they're like, well, we never thought about that. And then they're like, what do you mean? So we just started a little conversation. So I just fell upon, and he said it was an old post. They never really took it down. But when we started talking more, the problem was they weren't getting good pictures. They were getting bad pictures of back of people's heads and all this other stuff, and not really the action shots. So like you and I went there and talked with them and said, okay, we can't guarantee you good pictures, but we can guarantee you the equipment's going to be better. People that have an eye for photography. So, nothing's paid. We literally put it up on our board. People go volunteer, go out there, take some pictures. And we did 2 sites one day. We went to a dedication that was very moving where they dedicated the house and gave the gentleman the keys. And it was just a really moving experience, and I found out a lot more about it there, that he did have to work on it almost every weekend and all this other sweat equity you were talking about, which made me like it even more. And then he got all those pictures. We have them set up with I connected them with SmugMug, who gave them, because they were a nonprofit, gave them a free account, and now we get to upload the pictures right to SmugMug for them, and then the families can get them and all that stuff. So
whereas previously, and I was even talking to Dusty yesterday about this, he's a local contact there, until this point, those photos, even the homeowner handing off of the keys kind of photograph that they take, was more like a mugshot, he said. And he's like, and it would go in a drawer, it went in a file, it didn't go anywhere. And now he brought up a photo, one that I happened to take, of the homeowner posed against a post, like leaning against the post of his new home, and a flag flying and that kind of stuff. And he said that was a very moving photo, and he looks at it all the time, and he's like, this is what we're talking about.
To show what they're really doing, because they're you can't, if you don't have an eye for photography and you're like, yeah, here's my keys, it doesn't tell the story where we're going there and taking pictures. Sometimes throughout the life of the house, they may have us come at different points. So I kind of liked it. I've always wanted to go build one of the houses. You see Bon Jovi and Oprah building these houses, and it looks kind of cool. Like, all right, I can go build a house for someone else. It would be crooked, probably look very haunted, but I could still build
probably
it.
Fall down.
Probably fall down, but I tried.
Well, the other thing is that when you're shooting an event like this, it's a lot like shooting a wedding, because, a wedding, theoretically you're getting everything in a spontaneous fashion, but in reality, a lot of it is staged so that you're going to get a better picture. And it's the same thing when you're photographing people working on a project too, is that, at some point, you can kind of position them so you can get a better photo. They're still working, but, you've got to make, the photo project.
A lot of the pictures they were getting too were like that, hey, smile for the camera, and then that wasn't really showing what they were doing. They were just like, because the way they get their volunteers is like APS sends a crew out to build, or ASU or whoever it is sends out crews. These corporations have deals with them that they go out there and send, like their Bank of America crew.
Yeah, it's team building, and they're contributing to the community by donating time and materials and a workforce. And it's helpful for them to have photographs that tell their part of the story as well, because then...
So they're like the group shot and the buddy shots, but that's not showing them swinging the hammer. So we kind of go in and sniper some shots and get some of those action shots of the walls going up. They have us in at key moments so that it's not just, okay, the walls are already closed up, so that it's different things like that. So
well, also we have the capability of shooting in a time-lapse fashion too, because a lot of people like to see that, where you've got, you can kind of make the thing kind of bloom in a fairly short sequence by taking a series of pictures.
Exactly. So so there's some good things. So what we wanted to touch upon about is that we have this whole Pack Gives Back movement that we've started here, and we've been doing it very successfully, and it's very attainable, very easy. It's not something that is that you can't do. It's something you can do, and it doesn't have to be huge. Like we're very overzealous, so we go and have lots of free time. No, right? Not after we do all these things, but we go overboard sometimes, and we do these huge events, and you don't really have to do that. Like Scott literally shot the DS Network calendar, so he would set sessions up with them. They would come in, or he'd usually go to their house, right, and shoot.
They're all on location.
On location, shoot the pictures, and then donated his time to the calendar, and that was something that was not a ginormous project that required 200 photographs in a space and talking to vendors and all this stuff. It was just
50 volunteers and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so that's something that you can start small and use the Pack Gives Back name and actually go out there and have this movement elsewhere in other PAC chapters, or just yourself. So it doesn't have to be just limited. So look it up. It's on photoadvclub.com/charity. But check it out, and you'll see all the stuff we're doing here. We could add you onto that calendar. We could try to get you support. We could try to answer questions. We could try to help you go out and take your camera out there and help someone else and do a great thing for the community. So we hope you'll try something like that. And I think that's all I have to say, because we're pretty much over time, but I think we were kind of into it. So anything else we want to add? Okay.
Pack gives back.
Giving never felt better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Make it your own out there.
Cheers.
Cheers.